Hi, I'm Erica from my phone and welcome to another video. The VMAs have happened. There are performances that I find iconic. There are performances that I think you can skip. Here's my advice for recommended viewing, for which ones are just really cool, what different artists you should check out if you haven't heard of them before, and all of that good stuff. So anyway, let's get into it. So let's get into the tiers. First category is history. This performance will live on beyond this VMAs. We will reference it in the future. That is what I am discussing here, and it is a very limited pool. Recommended viewing. This is a performance I actually enjoyed enough that I think you should check out. If you don't know this artist, if you don't know if they are worth seeing it live, I would recommend checking out the performance because I really enjoyed it. I think it is really cool. I wasn't expecting it potentially, and I think you would enjoy it. Third is I had fun. These are not performances that blew me out of the water, but I had a lot of fun watching them. I enjoyed it. I would potentially watch it again. Is it going to be the ones I say that you all need to check out? No. But I had a lot of fun. Fourth category is a performance. I don't really know what to put there. It's kind of like mid. It is me being respectful to artists that I would maybe watch them again. And they did probably exactly what I expected them to do. And it was fine. And finally, skip. I don't really see any need to return to this performance. It's nothing against the artist, probably. It is maybe just how the scene was set up, or maybe the VMAs screwed them over with it. We will get into that. Okay, first artist I wanted to get into is Sserafim. I'm sorry if I mispronounced them. I'm not familiar with how it's pronounced out loud. But I had heard a couple of their songs. I had heard Crazy before. And their performance was really good. Their choreo was nice. I liked the effects. I liked the camera work was really doing well. And I think the fact that this was the only K-pop group that got to perform at all for the VMAs, it's really sad that was in the opener pre-show type thing. I think it deserved main performance. I would say recommended viewing. I think if you don't know them, I think they are a newer K-pop group that I am interested in seeing more from specifically, more than just other K-pop groups who I enjoy and I like seeing, but I think I specifically am going to be looking out for them in the future. Next, I wanted to get into Teddy Swims. Now, Teddy Swims did 3 songs over at this Push Small stage. I wish he had gotten his performances not abbreviated. I don't know why they abbreviated it for the live taping, and even though I watched it on Paramount Plus and I got to watch the full show, they didn't make the performance longer for that, and I just feel like that was lazy in editing. I think if I'm going to watch it in full, let me watch it in full. And so I feel like it was odd. I would say I enjoyed it. I think if you have heard his songs of Lose Control and The Door, they were both really good and they made me want to check out his music more. I will put it in, I had fun. He crushed it vocally, and it's really cool to see an artist like him pop off. I can't recall a male balladeer in America popping off in recent times. I like the setup. It was minimal, but it allowed him to showcase his vocals. I'm allowing him to park and bark when you have a voice like that. Next, I want to get into Lisa. I'm going to say I teeter between I had fun and a performance. I'm going to put it in I performance because I think I had fun. I will have a lot of people there. I put a performance because I actually reacted to New Woman a few weeks ago on the channel, and it was lovely, and I enjoyed that song, but the mic was not set up for this. I don't know. There was something that was off during the first half of the performance. When it got to Rockstar, it was really great. The effects were amazing. The choreo was on point, and we really did get to focus on Lisa. But I think the fact that we had the New Woman part really does bring it down. Not because of the song, because I do love the song, but I think it just didn't seem like the most rehearsed. I don't know. I couldn't tell when she was singing or not, and it seemed like when she was coming in, it might have been a little off, so sometimes she stopped singing during parts where I feel like she should have. I also would have loved Rosalia to be there. Why you didn't make that happen, I don't know. It would have been great to see Rosalia at the VMAs. I don't know if she's actually made it to the actual VMAs, and I would love to have seen her there. Next, we have Eminem, who opened the show, and it's cool to see someone who has made iconic VMA performances happen in the past come back and, you know, show how far he's come and reference his old era. I have listened to his new album in full. I'm not really into the whole narrative. I understand it. I don't really care for it. It's not something I really care about going into. So the songs to me didn't really speak to me. And I think it was kind of odd because it was definitely a different tone than pretty much the rest of the show. The show is very uplifting and very much keep the energy light if we can. And this is like, oh, the PC police is after me and everyone's going to turn to the Girl Scouts. I'm surprised. I know that Houdini was a single, but there are some lines in there that are much more referencing the Slim Shady character than maybe the brand that the VMAs is going for. I get chasing the iconic moments, and it is still a cool performance if you are into Eminem. But I think for my audience and of the performances of the night, I feel like if I'm going through them again, I'm probably not clicking on Eminem's again, so I'm going to just say skip. I also think his two song choices are completely different vibes, so it's a lot to get into the show like that. Next I'm going to do again Shawn Mendes. Shawn Mendes was the first of several artists who had the artist in 3, 2, 1. Give me a moment to breathe, VMAs. But this was so dusty. I am undergoing allergy treatment right now. This would have sent me into anaphylaxis. Boy, that's a lot of dust and fog coming out. It is a very slow, expressive song. It's definitely a slow burn that he played, Nobody Knows. I loved how expressive he was towards the end when he looks at the drummer. That drummer angle was a great move. I don't know who does the camera work during the VMAs. They're normally, frankly, not that good at their job. Whoever had the responsibility of recording Shawn Mendes' performance or Shawn Mendes' team gave really good instructions, whoever did that, they did amazing because that was probably one of the best visual displays of the night in terms of the cinematography itself. It's otherwise a chill performance. I enjoyed it. I loved seeing Shawn's face. I don't know what his comeback is going to be. It seems like it's going to be fairly acoustic, which I know a lot of his fans like. I tend to like some of his more upbeat songs, so I feel like I'm going to be just okay with the era, which I'm okay with just being okay with the era. But this performance was lovely, and I could see myself watching it again. Another performance I could see watching again is Karol G. I liked that she was having fun, and as I continue practicing my Spanish, I really liked a good Spanish bop. She brought the energy, and it was a good time. Yeah, I liked her interacting with the audience. Camila Cabello definitely could do the steps. Taylor Swift tried her best. I definitely think Karol G was very commanding and she had a very party atmosphere, but I think she was definitely having fun with this performance. She wasn't trying to prove anything here, and she doesn't need to prove anything. She has made history in many categories, and so I enjoyed having her here. And yeah, I love that also we got to have a performance entirely in Spanish and that it was not an issue at all. We actually had 2 because we'll have Alejandro later. And I'm glad that more American award shows are being open to non-English songs being performed. Next we have Sabrina Carpenter, who did a medley of Please 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 Taste an Espresso. I had a good time with it. It was fun. I like the space theme. I'm glad that in just 1 year she's gone from pre-show to main stage and one of the main events of the show. And I'm going to say it's recommended viewing. If you don't have the pulse on the culture, just look at Sabrina Carpenter. She's going to tell you everything you need to know. That she is 5 feet, that she's blonde, and that she can take your man, or she had your man, and you're going to taste her through that man. She kisses an alien. It's a good time. I think it's recommended viewing just to know what is going on. Is it a fun performance? Absolutely. Is it something that people will remember in 10 years? Probably not. But I think for 2024, it's exactly the right amount of performance. Next, we have Anitta, who did a medley of songs with Paradise, Alegria, and Savage Funk. I've reacted to Anitta, and I really enjoy her music. I am confused why Mil Veces was not in that, given that it's the award that she later won. It felt odd to me, and I think she deserved to have that song that's a solo song. I don't think Savage Funk was the right move to have because she barely sang in it. I mean, she did her choreography, which was killer, and was probably one of the highlights of that performance. My least favorite part of the performance was DJ Khaled. DJ Khaled needs to get off my screen. I don't like him much at all. I don't think he adds much to songs, especially when he's performing. Why is he performing? He is just saying we the best music and is trying to hype a crowd up. The crowd is already hype. It's the VMAs. You were either invited as a special guest or maybe you spent a ton of money to be there. I would love to get there someday, but the crowd is already hyped to be there. It's one of the biggest nights in music. So I don't need you to hype the crowd up and overtake Anitta or the other guy who was singing at the beginning. I don't know him at all. But it was really ruining it. It's fine during a DJ set because You get the crowd hype. That makes sense. But I didn't want him there. And I think it really soured the tone of the performance. I was really just trying to get it over with. I'm glad it was a medley so I could have Anitta without him. But I think that specifically and the song choices really didn't do the best for it. Mil Veces, I love that song. So I would love to have seen that get performed, but I'm just going to put it in a performance for now, and you can find your highlights in it. Also, one thing I would like to know, since I'm seeing both Lisa and Anitta here, is I found it odd what awards were shown, because it just seemed like whoever was there from the category, for especially a lot of these more international, globally minded categories, it was just whoever was going to be there. We knew that none of the other K-pop people were there. We knew no one else from Brazil is there. Anitta said it herself. But also a lot of the Latin representation was also not there. So I find it odd that we are presenting categories where we know exactly who's going to win. It's nice to see a diverse group of people come up and accept awards, but I don't know. It makes me feel like I already know the award, so it feels pointless to see it happen. It makes it not suspenseful at all. I was not suspenseful for really any award that happened. Moving on to someone completely different, we have Jessie Murph, who is the other artist that they put on that side stage and cut off her performances. Why? I don't know. I think it was more odd for Teddy Sims given how popular he is. I mean, Lose Control literally has over 1 billion streams on Spotify already. So I wouldn't put them in the same category personally. But Jessie Murph was great. Wild Ones was good. The I Hope It Hurts song, oh my gosh, her vocals are incredible. And I guess maybe they put them there because their vocals are what shine and not necessarily any sort of performance aspect. It's not going to be as flashy. It's not going to be as wild. But she is fun. She's only 19. She's going to turn 20 over the weekend, which is absolutely wild to me, how young she is. But she feels like if Amy Winehouse was born in Tennessee. I saw some Amy Winehouse comparisons, but I made that of my own conclusion since I reacted to Back to Black recently. And I was like, wow, she's really killing it vocally. And she's only 19. Oh gosh, I'm now 25, so breathe, Eric, it's okay. I feel like I Hope It Hurts is the reason why I want to put it in this I Had Fun category, but it's not fun to watch. It's just powerful. I would recommend giving her a chance. Is it going to be the most memorable thing of the night? No, I would probably put her in a pre-show, if that makes sense. I think she makes much more sense there because she is a push up-and-coming artist. I think Sserafim gave much more of a choreographed performance that makes sense for a main stage, especially at the VMAs. Next, I wanted to get into Katy Perry's Vanguard performance. It seems to me, and this is not any shade to any of the artists, because I also don't remember the entire list of Vanguard performances, but it seems like we give Vanguard performances and the Vanguard Award to people who have made an impact in the industry and who are probably not making more of an impact in the industry going forward. I think most notably Nicki Minaj. Yeah, she had Super Freaky Girl, and I really do love that song. And there are certain songs on Pink Friday too that I really like. But it seems like with Katy Perry's comeback of sorts, that people are not digging it. Her old songs in this mashup sound way better, and it reminds me of the Super Bowl halftime performance that she did, which was very good. She is a performer, first and foremost. Don't get that twisted. And I like the vibe of Lifetimes, and I'm His, He's Mine samples a song I really like. But if you've heard me talking on many videos, you know how I feel about overt sampling in songs. I get very tired of it. Very on trend right now, but I think it's very lazy. And we can do better with sampling that's much more creative, and this is not that creative. I'm glad Doechii got a chance to shine, but it is kind of random within a Vanguard performance to have a up-and-coming artist in that. I think Doechii should have performed on her own. Doesn't she have hits also? But overall, I do think she performed well. I think this 143 hype from hers, and she's just trying to push through it. And I think her award acceptance speech was fairly respectful, and I think very honorable in some ways. But I know that there's beef. I know there's controversy. I'm not a fan of anything that Dr. Luke is producing. It's not something I want to spend a ton of time in. I don't want to invest money in. I'm not going to react to it. I don't need to give any free publicity to anything that that man has touched. So for that, I'm going to say I had fun because she still is a performer at the end of the day, but you don't need to watch that performance. It's a long performance, and you've seen her probably perform most of her big hits at the Super Bowl halftime show anyway. Next, we're going to Chappell Roan. This is the reason the category exists. Chappell Roan made history. This is the only performance probably that people will revisit in 5 years' time. from this show. It's Chappell Roan's debut on the VMA stage. It's her first VMA award. And yes, I did cry when she got it and she dedicated it to the queer kids in the Midwest, coming from Indianapolis and being queer myself. A very lovely performance. First televised performance of Good Luck Babe. Very great job. I loved her fashion for the night. I just loved it all. It was so wonderful. And I highly recommend you check it out. It is the one, spoiler alert, that is going to her story. The rest of these, they could be good performances. They might be something you might want to watch randomly when you're thinking about this artist and thinking about performances you could watch of them performing live. This performance will be something that people remember. At least I think they will. Next we have Megan Thee Stallion, who hosted. I don't know if it was just the miking on the crowd or if it's just the crowd of people. Megan Thee Stallion was telling jokes and being her flirtatious, bubbly, loud, and proud self. And I was living for it. But it didn't seem like the audience was really caring too much about her the whole night. I don't know why. Maybe it was just their eardrums blowing out from all the music. But they didn't seem to react that much. And that was a shame because I think Megan Thee Stallion did a great job hosting. Her performance was fun. I had a great time. I liked when she brought Yuki out for Mamushi. I liked all of it. She was definitely giving a much more choreo moment. She rapped sometimes, but she didn't rap as much as I would assume for a performance, how much of the song you would actually cover. She was definitely focused on getting the crowd hype and, you know, making a moment and having her fun. And she definitely made me have fun too. Next we get into Benson Boone. I had a great time with this performance. I highly recommend. A lot of people don't know who Benson Boone is, and people have only heard little snippets from it. I really like the song. I really like his whole album, really. And he did flips on stage. He had glitter in his outfit. And he is 22 and not only an attractive young man, but he also is very talented. He flipped and then did these high notes. Vocal control. I would say male pop might be coming back. And he might be on the forefront of it because I really did like his album. I think it was a very solid debut. And I can see him with his performance doing great things. I think now people who have watched the VMAs actually know the face behind that song. The song is good. I know it can be repetitive on TikTok, but if you're off of TikTok and you're just listening to songs, you can enjoy it. And I'd say it's probably one of the most spectacular performances of the night from a male artist. Next, I wanted to get into Camila Cabello. And I alluded to it before with the camera work. This is something that the VMA cinematographers need to take into account. An artist's vision, she clearly was trying to look in the camera and let you see it just from that POV, and you were not letting that happen. You were giving wide shots, and we can't see anything that's happening in the stage because she is in this semi-transparent box, but you cannot see her really from there. It's all lit up for, you know, the performance. And there's a projector behind it, but if you look at that, at least on the VMA clip that they put on YouTube, it is delayed. It is not synced up with her vocals. So, really bad job on the VMAs for that. She did well. I really liked her new song, Godspeed. June Gloom, I didn't remember it much from the album. The album kind of just washed over me, and I remember it happening, and I haven't really gone back too much of it. But I did like Godspeed, and I felt like it was a very good song for her to go in and give something different that's not too left field, but not too centered. I just think that the VMA cinematographers really weren't doing her justice, but that laptop drop and trying to break it was fun to watch. So I'm going to give it a performance. I think it would be better if I could see what exactly she wanted me to see. Next, I wanted to get into Lenny Kravitz. I have literally no clue why Lenny Kravitz was there. It was great that he was there. And I would have liked for more older artists to come back, especially these artists that they kept mentioning. Like, it would have been nice if Madonna came back or if Cyndi Lauper actually performed. She was performing at the first VMAs, so why not bring her there? It's the 40th anniversary. If you're going to have all these time capsule moments, try to bring back some of these old legends. And we have Lenny Kravitz as an option, and I enjoyed it. I'm going to say I had fun because I don't think there's anything novel in what he did. But if you didn't know who Lenny Kravitz was, or you haven't been reminded in a while, I highly recommend you check him out because he's still rocking and rolling. He looks the same as he did back then. I think he's aged very well. And yeah, I enjoyed these songs. I'm gonna add them more into my rotation. Did I need Quavo to be there? No. Did he better the song? No. Did he take away from the song? Actually, no. I'm not a big fan of Quavo, but I think he was okay there, and I get that they did release this before. Much more appreciated than DJ Khaled ever will be. Next, I wanted to get into GloRilla. I'm so sorry. It's not the wardrobe malfunction. It's not the fact that it was censored. It just felt a little cluttered for me, and it was really hard for me to really get into it. And I think in terms of hip-hop performances, there were just others I liked better, like Megan Thee Stallion and LL Cool J, which we'll get into soon. It was fun, but again, it's definitely something that, unless you're a GloRilla stan, I don't really see the reason why you would get into this performance. I'm sure she's had better ones, especially one where she doesn't have an output malfunction, although they handle it very professionally. But I know I'm not going to return to it, and I just want to be honest about that. Speaking of hip-hop, let's talk about LL Cool J. That was a great performance. I did not think I was going to enjoy that as nearly as much. I am only marginally familiar with LL Cool J's work, and I've heard of it before. Did I know most of the songs that were going? No, but he commands a crowd. Wow, they were bumping. They had hats for them all to wear. They had pictures of the GOAT. Iconic, honestly. And was I around when he was getting big? Yeah, probably. I was a toddler. But yeah, this was a great performance. I actually recommend you view it. I had a great time. It feels throwbackish, but it still feels hip with the times. I feel like people are trying to make music that sounds like this, but he made it back then, and it sounded good then, and it sounds good now. So I really recommend. He still got it, and sometimes you think some of these artists don't still got it. He still got it, and I fully enjoyed his performance. Him and Eminem's mics were definitely both on. I think his was more on, and both of them were definitely more on than Megan Thee Stallion. But LL Cool J, yeah, I had a great time. I would watch it again. Next, I have Rauw Alejandro. He was great. That man can dance. That man can command a stage. He has my attention. He looks fine. Okay? He looks fine as hell. Get over it. I enjoyed it. I had fun. Yep. I think, yeah, he brought fun. And I enjoyed it. If you like Latin music, you're going to probably like him. I know that's a very vague category, but I think that he resonates well with a very wide demographic. And I got into him, and I think you could too. Next, I want to finish up with Halsey. I love this performer. She is wonderful. They are an amazing musician, an amazing artist, an amazing visionary. And I'm so excited for their album to come out at the end of October. I will probably be posting a reaction to it. I thoroughly enjoyed If I Can't Have Love, I Want Power. It was probably my album of the year at the time. And yeah, I was happy to see her come back to the VMAs. It was a great performance. Do you need to watch it? No. But it was great to see it. I'm probably going to put it in a high fun. Well, that's my list. Can I put it in recommended viewing? Yeah, I think so. If you are a big fan of nostalgia, and it seems like that is really on trend right now, but if you are liking late 90s, early 2000s, this song, Ego, that she performed, is really right up your alley. Victoria DeAngelis from Mama Ona Skin performed with her, which was so cool. And also, she also made a song with Anitta. I thought they might be in Anita's mashup together. I was really gonna get ready to shake my booty because that song was amazing, and it was not the song to hear for the first time while merging onto a highway. But I am very excited for Halsey's Great Impersonator album. It seems like it's going to be a ton of different genres, and Halsey does every genre so well. I don't know why, but it's always so good. So I am excited for that project, and I think this performance gave us a taste. I'm putting a recommended viewing because I just love Halsey so much. I think all of those artists deserve where they belong, most likely. I still feel bad if other artists or certain VMA elements got in the way of their performances, and it seems like for the ones that are in the bottom half, it's probably that rather than the artists themselves. So please, if you are a fan, a stan of any of these artists, it is not a diss. It is nothing. These are the artists' performances that I liked the best, and the other ones probably it was the VMA's fault. They're not the scammies like the Grammys are, but they are definitely an institution that can still make big mistakes or small mistakes. They are run by humans after all. But I think this concludes my list. Let me know what your thoughts of the performances and just the awards in general are. yeah, I'd love to hear all of your thoughts down in the comments below. If you like this video, please like it. Please comment down below what you need to do next on my channel. Please subscribe to my channel if you're not already and you'd like to be. And thanks for watching. This is TurtleStormer. Catch you later.